Hey there, welcome to Elizabeth Newson classes. Today we'll be doing body measurement. What is body measurement? Body measurement is the recording of body parts vertically, horizontally, and circumferentially through the use of a tape measure. In our previous videos, we have taught how to read a tape measure. In taking body measurement, it is good to consider the figure of the person that you want to measure, the material, and the style that you want to make. It's also of advantage to consider the age of the wearer. For today's class, meet Betty. She's going to be our model for today. So let's get right into it. I assume that when your client comes, they are going to be wearing clothes, so they are not going to be naked. So, and that's why I've put this beautiful dress for Betty. So let's get to it. We'll start with our bust measurement. Take it round the fullest part of the bust, bring it fullest part of the bust. See, it should be firm enough. We have what we call actual, so just make sure that it's firm. Just you only have maybe one finger or two fingers. So for Betty, I have 33. See, it's firm enough, 33. Then you come right down to the waist. Betty has only one hand there. So you come right down to the waist. And where is the waist? Because people always say, is it by the belly button? Is it by the belly button? Some of us have high belly buttons or low belly buttons. So, but the covers part, the most part that is the part of your waist that is the slimmest. That's where you measure for your waist, and that is for Betty. It's 26. You can see. Let's keep it firm. 25 for Betty. See that I measured it firmly. Now we have the under bust measurement, same circumferentially. You place it directly under the bust. Directly under the bust. See, this is bust under the bust, and let it be firm. Let it be firm. See, and make it straight at the back, directly under the bust. Hers is 28. Now we go to the hip. We need to measure the hip, and that's the fullest part of the hips. The fullest part of the hips. So you come to the hip and you measure it. Hers is 38. This is your hip by your bum bum, the fullest part. That's the hip. You measure it. Then you measure your bust point from your shoulder, from the side of your shoulder to the top of the bust. To the top of the bust. You don't need to press anybody's body, but just you know the top of the bust. And this measurement, the bra that your client wears affects it a lot. So if they are coming to measure, they have to wear the bra that they will wear when they are putting on that dress, especially if you are sewing a fitted dress. So this is bust distance. The distance between the two busts is there. Then your shoulder measurement, you take it from one shoulder bone to the other shoulder bone, one shoulder bone to the other shoulder bone, across the nape. The back of the neck is across the nape, so you measure it right there. For Betty, it's 14. Her shoulder is 14. And then you measure your sleeve length. How long do you want your sleeve to be? You measure it all the way. Short sleeve, want you to see what I'm doing. You measure it. Short sleeve, if it's short, you're 5. Then half sleeve, that's by the elbow. You can see our elbow, half sleeve. So, and then if it's going to be 3/4, you measure it. So if you are measuring for a shirt, you are going to measure it L. The way the elbow is, it's going to be L. The person is going to form their hand into an L shape, and you measure it all the way to the wrist. Do not forget to measure the wrist. Do not forget to measure the wrist. We also have a lot of other measurements that I'm going to introduce you to right now. We have what we call the half length. The half length is from the shoulder. Remember, your tape must be placed at the side of your neck, and any measurement that is going straight down from the shoulder must go across the bust. It should not come to the side this way. It should not fall to the side. For accurate measurement, it has to go from the shoulder across the bust, you know. So we have measured the bust point. We measured the under bust length, from shoulder to under bust length. You take the tape from the shoulder to under the bust length, like that. Then half length is from the shoulder to the waist, the shoulder to the waist, depending on the style. If you want to measure the full length, it's still from the shoulder all the way, maybe to the knee for a short gown, and to the floor for a long gown. You also measure, we have a lot of measurements that you're supposed to take. You can measure from your shoulder to your hip, from your shoulder to your knee. You can measure your sleeve round as well. We have measured the sleeve length. You also take your tape around the arm, the fattest part of the arm. Hope you can see. Fattest part of the arm, where the arm is fat, is called the biceps. You take your tape round there and measure. Make sure you put a little ease right there, because when the arm is in a resting position, all the tissues, everything rests. But when they raise the hand up, you need to raise up their hand that way for you to get the accurate measurement. So you measure at the biceps, measure at the elbow, measure at the wrist as well. For your trouser, you measure the waist, tight waist. You measure around the thigh. You measure, preferably the person is wearing a trouser or a shorts. You measure around the thigh this way. Measure around the thigh as well. You measure your trouser length. Then you measure your skirt. For your skirt, ask your clients where do they place their skirts. You put your tape on the waist, and then you take it to the desired length. Is it a short skirt? Take it to the knee. I hope you can see me. And then if it's a long skirt, all the way maybe to the ankle or the floor, depending if it's a flowing skirt. Do not forget that if your dress has a cut at the knee, you have to take it above the knee because of ease of movement. We also have the edge circumference. We should not forget. We measure the edge. Can measure the edge circumference. Can measure the edge for caps, male caps, and all that. Hats. Can measure the head circumference. Can measure the neck. Okay, measure the neck for male wears, female wears. This is how to take the neck measurements. Not round like so, but just bring it a little bit down that way to form a V. So has, if I'm recording has, it will be 14. I'll give it a 14. You see, I'll give it, that is 14. Then don't forget the armhole. Armhole. Take it around like that, the armhole. For the men, you know they don't have bust, so theirs is chest. For the men, theirs is chest. And when I'm measuring for a man, I'm making a clothes for a man, when I take their measure, because their clothes are not usually fitted like that, I take it around the chest, on directly under the armpit. I take it around that way and add a little ease. I use my fist as like to know the ease. So I hope this has been useful to you. So try to take your friend's measurements, your daughter's measurement, and let's know how it's going. Remember that you should record your measurement as you are taking it, because we can forget easily. Remember to record your measurement as it's being taken. All right, see you. Bye.